so much. It's great to be here today with such a great group of people. Those of you who know my family know that I'm very proud to come from a long line of activist reformer women, going all the way back to Seneca Falls more than a century ago. And so it's in my DNA to be very passionate about fighting for women's rights, just as women and frankly men in my family have done for a long time, including my mother today. I'm honored to accept this endorsement, and honored, more importantly, to win this race and fight for the issues that women care so passionately about in this state. I'll mention a couple, but I just want to refer, this week we've had a very interesting debate in my race. A couple days ago, as Secretary of State to be Turner and Mr. Carney saw, we rolled out a plan on voting rights where we said what I believed was an uncontroversial statement, that maybe the highest duty in the job of Attorney General is to stand for and stand up for and speak out for the constitutional rights of our citizens. That's in fact the oath you take in this job. And the response from the current Attorney General was that that is not the job. I find that to be a fascinating and astounding statement, that he believes it is not the job, it is not the job description. In fact, you're not doing your job as Attorney General if you speak out for the constitutional rights of your citizens. But that does explain a lot. That does explain a lot. And so that's a big difference for voters to think about, whether it be voting rights or women's rights for the rest of this campaign. I think it explains why when we've seen things like the gag rules and other laws come down the pike, we've heard nothing from the person who is actually supposed to be the top law officer of the state of Ohio, speaking up especially for victims of crime and women victims of crime. But absolute silence on issues as difficult and devastating as removing a gag order. But it also, I think, explains, and this was just alluded to, the other agenda in the Attorney General's office, which has not simply been silence in the face of these attacks on women's rights, but actually a little quieter but a very aggressive agenda across this country. People don't know this. The current Attorney General of Ohio, with all of our resources and all of our tax dollars in his valuable time, is literally entering cases in courts across this country fighting women's health. Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Michigan, the Supreme Court, Arizona. He's taking the good name of this state and our resources, and he's going into those states and joining cases, and he's saying, among other things, first of all, he's I think, turning his back on the constitutional principles that really underscore women's health and women's rights. And what he's saying is, and this was alluded to, that he thinks, in a number of these cases, that women's health choices must be subjected to the moral views of the heads of companies. That's literally the legal view that he is pushing forward in court. Now, he's lost most of these cases. But the fact that our Attorney General, that's his agenda, and it's not to stand up for the constitutional rights and the other important work we have to do to protect women in the state from crime and other attacks on their integrity, says a lot. So make no mistake, when I'm Attorney General, I will get rid of that agenda, and my agenda will be protecting and standing up for the women of Ohio. I greatly look forward to doing that with this team come November.